get me my first big bike. But of course, I'm too new to ride a liter class every day. But I want to go fast. Yeah, I don't want something too committed like a race bike or an ADV, you know? Dude, I just want to chill. What do I buy? Sounds familiar? I think we have something that you might just like. Back in the 80s and 90s, Japanese bike makers were taking detuned race engines and putting it in their street bikes. What you got was something fast yet versatile. Power that you could actually use on a day-to-day basis. But that's not the case with most modern retro bikes. They cram in so much tech. More often than not, the retro is kind of lost. But that's not the case with the new Kawasaki Z650RS. And that's why I feel is the ideal motorcycle to begin your big bike journey on. I'm a sucker for retro, and this motorcycle really hits a spot. Nothing on this motorcycle is sharp and edgy, it's all round and smooth. If the Z650 was that brawny kid next door, the Z650RS is his beautiful sister in a summer dress. And boy oh boy, it's a head turner. The Z650RS sits closest to the Z650. But Kawasaki has done more than just slap on a round headlamp to give it a retro vibe. The unit on the Z650RS is a bright all-LED headlamp. The Retro Naked ditches a color TFT display for an old-school twin-pod instrument console. Also integrated in there is a tiny but comprehensive digital display for all your basic readings. However, it misses out on Bluetooth connectivity, which at this price point seems like a bit of a miss if you ask me. You'll really come to appreciate how elegant this motorcycle is, especially for its minimalism, right? And that's the best part. Nothing on this motorcycle, not even the smallest bits and parts, look cheap or out of place. And this new shade of green, this dark emerald color, is the first thing to shine through and pop and catch your eye.
That said, the elegant teardrop-shaped fuel tank is now down to a small 12-litre unit. That's 3 litres down from the Z650, but it really complements the swooping body panels and the flat one-piece seat. The duckbill tail that wraps around the tiny tail lamp feels like a homage to the 1970s Kawasaki Z1. In fact, the styling is almost period correct with the gold finish alloys that are styled to look like wire spokes. What's clearly missing are a pair of old school upswept end cans. It would have looked delicious.
You'll really appreciate how simple this motorcycle is to ride. It's effortless. It gets a short wheelbase, so it's easy to flick around from side to side. 800mm seat height, so a lot of riders, even the short and the tall ones, will be very comfortable in the saddle. Just grab the bullhorn bars, point, gas and ride. That's it. There are no riding modes to this per se, but there are riding moods. And it's all controlled by this hand right here.
Yes, the Kawasaki Z650RS misses out on riding modes. But it's so friendly and composed, it hides its 191 kg curb weight really well. The Dunlop Sport Max Road Sport 2 tires are to thank for that. The bike feels composed and welcoming. It's predictable around corners, and the potent Nissan brakes offer progressive bite. And the front remains composed even under panic braking. You get dual semi-floating 300mm discs in the front and a single 220mm disc at the back. The ABS cannot be turned off though.
See, the thing is, under all this retro guise is a Z650 with the same steel trellis frame and the same rake and trail. So what that does is makes the entire handling package of this motorcycle very predictable. In fact, it's the compactness of it all from front to back and side to side that you really like on the road, especially every day. It moves like a small, compact street bike. But if I were to nitpick, the first thing I would want on this motorcycle is a bit more ground clearance. When you're riding 2 up, you're bound to rub that underbelly. Another thing that I would really like to see is a little more adjustability in the suspension department. Yes, you get preload at the back, but a little extra at the front would not hurt.
The 41mm telescopic front fork allows for a measly 125mm wheel travel, and the rare backlink monoshock gives you 130mm of wheel travel.
So the Z650RS gets the same 649cc engine as we have seen on the Versys 650, the Ninja 650, the Z650 and even the Vulcan. This decade-old platform is so versatile, it's possibly the nicest thing you can have in your garage. And honestly, with all that low-down torque and mid-range performance, I'm a happy man riding a middleweight around town. It's as easy as riding a 30 PS street bike.
All the power from this parallel twin can be used without being extremely skilled. The 6-speed gearbox is nice and refined, and even if I pin it, the way the 68 PS and the 64 Nm is fed to me, it all feels proportionate. You're not too afraid of biting more than you can chew. And that's the mark of a good bike in my opinion. Sustaining triple-digit speeds is effortless, but there is a mild buzz from the foot pegs at about 6000 RPM. I even like the motor's raspy exhaust note over some middleweight V-twins.
When you're talking about a motorcycle like the Kawasaki Z650RS, it's not one of those retro fashion statements that you buy today and then outgrow tomorrow. Nah, it's far too practical a motorcycle for something like that. At 6.7 lakh ex-showroom, yes, it's a lot more expensive than say a Royal Enfield 650 twin, you know? But at the same time, it's a whole lot more affordable than say its direct rivals like the Triumph Trident or the Honda CB650R, which are properly modern and well equipped. But it's the simplicity of how the Z650RS sort of comes together and how it feels on the road and how it looks that makes it very, very difficult to part ways with. It's something that you would want in your garage for longer. And that's the essence of this motorcycle. And what's more special, that it's a Japanese motorcycle and a Kawasaki. There's nothing cooler than that.